The things that when people say, "Oh, my drumming is active," well, it's because I love listening to active drums.
It's fun.
So that's the kind of drummer I want to be. Is what I find exciting to listen to.
Right.
Again, that's the honest feedback in it. And when I listen to West African drums or reggae or other influences that I mentioned, they excite me, so I want them. I want to play them because
Yeah.
I think they'll be exciting to play, and I think that what's exciting to play, if you communicate it right, will be exciting to listen to.
Sure.
That's the other part of it too. It's all about how well you can communicate it, and songwriting is perhaps the most accessible version of that. When you say, well, every song is trying to communicate with the audience on whatever level, and if it misses, it's your fault for not, communicating it well enough. And that's driven us a lot as songwriters and arrangers over the years, trying and noticing it when we've connected with people and when we haven't, because we would always be surprised when we didn't.
Right.
I've often told the story of our second album, Caress of Steel, made in the summer of '75, and made with such love and such joy. We just loved that record. We loved making it, and so proud of it and all that. And then it came out and went, whoosh, like, what happened? How could people not like this?
Yeah.
We like it. So, it's one thing to say in simplicity that we make music that we like and hope other people will too. But you learn that craft, and a drummer learns that craft too, of controlling that excitement too, controlling your own adrenaline and trying to focus the dynamics on that. And you examine that over time and learn from that over time. I told the story about in Toronto when they had the big SARS scare earlier in this decade. Must have been around 2003. I'm thinking it was. And we did a big show there with Rolling Stones and ACDC, like 400,000 people. And we were off the road at the time. So we basically had to rehearse and prepare for that in a matter of a couple of weeks and go on and play in front of an audience that's not ours.
Right.
And they just, Justin Timberlake, bless him, had volunteered early on to be part of that show and everything, and people were throwing water bottles and everything. And he said after, well, look, if I came to see the Rolling Stones, I'd throw bottles at me too. But, a very generous response, but that was the nature of how a hostile audience can be.
Sure, absolutely.
And so it was a tremendously nervous undertaking to walk onto that stage. And I was amazed later that I kept tempo through it, and people say, oh, you looked relaxed. And people often make that kind of, I look relaxed. Are you kidding? But that's part of the will, that I willed myself to control that adrenaline.